What do I do if I'm stay listening to my child and he says, go away? This is a question that we get a lot because it's that common. We're there, ready to stay listen, ready to be compassionate listeners, to hold space for our child's emotions. Here we are, ready to provide safety and calmness in a very agitated moment. And what they say is go away. So what's up with that? Do they really mean it? Well, here's the tricky part. Many times, they don't. They don't mean it. What they're trying to say with that go away, if they could explain it with words, which they can't at the moment because their thinking portion of the brain is temporarily shut down, so they don't make much sense. If they could articulate what's going on, they would say something like, hey mom, hey dad, your presence, your warmth, your nonverbal language is making all these feelings I don't like having bubble up to the surface, and I'm feeling them and I have no other option but to feel them, and you're bringing them to the surface. Can you please leave so that I can put them back into hiding where I don't have to feel them and where I am going to be in control of them, which is not very effective. So when they say go away, what they're saying is, I don't want to feel this, so please go away. And you'll see that if you do go away, the storm might calm down and you're going to be like, oh, maybe that's what they needed. But you'll see that they're still carrying yucky feelings and they're still going to be off track. And the feelings are going to bubble 5 minutes later about another little pretext, about another little thing. So what do I do? We don't want to be overpowering, and we have this concern that's very genuine about, like, am I listening to their boundaries? Am I ignoring what they're saying if they're requesting privacy? Well, in this particular moment, in the middle of the storm, they're not thinking very well. So there's a distinction here between the moments in which they are really calm and they're on track and they're thinking well and they request privacy. That's a different thing. But here it's more like, I don't want to feel this and your presence is making me feel this, so please go away. And by the way, I have had my girls tell me after the storm, Mom, I really didn't mean that. I needed you there in the moment, so don't listen to what I'm saying, don't take it personally. And we've seen this over and over. When the child really needs you there, they might say, go away. So what do I do? That's the question. Do I stay? Do I go? And this is an excellent question, because that means if you don't know exactly how to proceed, if you don't know if you should move forward or take a step back, that's exactly where you need to be. Why? Because that means you're going to be present and attuned to that particular moment. And sometimes the appropriate response will be to take a little step forward towards your child. And sometimes it's going to mean take a little step back. So you're going to be there. You can think of this as a dance in which sometimes you're going to step forward, sometimes you're going to step back. The idea is for your child to know that you're available, that you're there, that you care, and that you don't want to leave them alone. You don't want to overpower them and be like, I'm going to be here with an agenda. I'm just offering my presence. You can propose coming closer. And what you want is for the feelings to like the flame of the feelings to be alive. So sometimes if I go too far, the feelings are going to go back into hiding. If I go too close, I might be overwhelming for the child. So the idea is to be really present to the moment and notice what might be needed right now. And you can propose, hey, sweetie, I'm not going to leave you, but I'm going to sit here. You take a little step back and you say, I'm going to sit here in case you need me. Sometimes it's going to mean listening from across the room. Sometimes it's going to mean listening behind a door. Sometimes it might mean, okay, I'll leave you alone and I'll come back in a minute and see how you're doing. Sometimes it's going to mean like, no, sweetie, I'm not going to go. I think it's important to stay. I really want to stay. And then you say something like, here comes my hand, very gently. You can say something like, I really want to be with you. And then sometimes that's going to make the feelings go up and be like, no, go away. And you can sense if this is going well, if this is being beneficial to the child is going to be really deep into their emotional process of offloading feelings, which it's actually very beneficial. The body doesn't want to carry those yucky feelings. So try an experiment, and it's okay if you make a mistake. I've made mistakes in both directions. I have stayed when I needed to leave. I've left when I needed to stay. The key here is to know that your child will let you know what was really needed. Sometimes you'll see that you leave, but they're still carrying yucky feelings, or sometimes you'll stay and you'll see that they really use your attention well, and it's a good thing that you stayed because they offloaded the feelings with your presence. So you're not harming your child. You're not ignoring their request. You're just saying, I know this is hard. I just don't want to leave you when things are so hard. Don't also say, I'll stay while you're crying, because then they're going to be like, okay, let me stop crying so that you can leave. So this is just like a dance, and a gentle dance in which you take it very, very slowly, and try to experiment in both ways. What would happen if I stayed a little closer? What would happen if I take a step back? Where is the feelings? We want the feelings to be flowing, but also we don't want to force it or be like have an agenda to like produce the tears. So this is like one of those moments in which you need to be really present, really attuned, and also to listen to yourself. Am I in a good place to really listen? Because I'm not. If I'm not, then please don't stay, because that's not going to end up well for any part. So you can. It's also very, very important and valid to say, I really can't listen right now, and then don't. Your child is going to present you with other opportunities, and sometimes we'll be able to listen really, really well. So don't be fooled when the child says go away, because many times they don't mean that. And I've had my girls actually tell me that, hey, I didn't really mean what I said, all those hurtful things, or that thing about you leaving, I really needed you there. So I hope that's helpful. It's confusing, I know. This is a question we get a lot, because this is very, very common. And it's one of those situations, just like as adults we've experienced, sometimes we are angry, we're mad, and we go to another room, and we're sort of hoping that somebody comes to see if we're okay. So it's like sometimes they say things to sort of like to get the validation of, are you still going to be here? Am I that important to you? Even if I'm rejecting you, will you be still willing to come towards me with compassion and care? So I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have more questions, and keep up the good work. This is really challenging at times, and we want to be here to support you in this vital work that you're doing. Thank you.